Welcome to the Meat and Potatoes podcast, a Silicon Slopes production. Meat and Potatoes shines a light on the people in Silicon Slopes who get things done. We explore how, why, and when they get those things done, and why their work is the meat and potatoes of Utah's tech and business community. Today we're joined by Bob Caldwell, who's a founding partner of 42Chat. How are you, Bob?
I'm doing really well. Thanks so much for having me, Garrett.
Yeah, my pleasure. Appreciate your time. You are coming to us from a fine wooded office with some cool memorabilia. Well done.
Yeah, it came with a house, but I find it useful, and it's been a particularly nice place to hole up during the pandemic. So it's done its job.
Cool. Yeah, I'm coming from a local militia camp, it looks like, where I've been taken hostage, which would actually be kind of nice right now. Just
you need to blink out questions in Morse code with your eyes. Right?
I wouldn't mind just sitting in a cell, three meals a day, no email, no Zoom calls. Just move on.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
All right, so let's just
taking some sleep.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about 42Chat, what it is, what it does, how you guys created it.
Sure. Thanks so much. First of all, thanks for having me. We're excited to be here. 42Chat is a Utah-based company. We make AI chatbots that deliver instant communication and personalized connections over SMS, the web, of WhatsApp, literally about a half a dozen different channels. And I think what makes it really powerful, and one of the things I want to certainly talk about at some point today, I hope, is how Silicon Slopes has really led the industry in a certain way of leveraging this technology. At its simplest form, you can text or message a question and automatically get an answer. What that allows you to do if you're a business is to push messages out to your customers, to your employees, in Silicon Slopes world, your attendees, and allow them to ask questions and get information instantly back. We deliver primarily, we have been operating in the event space. So if you think of everything from trade shows to lacrosse tournaments to professional sports to fundraisers, but our largest client is actually a healthcare client. We've recently, because of demand that we saw come through Silicon Slopes, launched what we call an employee response bot. So it's the ability of people to push messages out to their employees in these trying times and get instant answers back. It's worked really well. So, I mean, we've been very fortunate. We started the company about 4 years ago when one of my co-founders got a text and replied to it, and nothing happened. It went into the mist. And we said, gosh, there's got to be a better way. If you can ask questions, why wouldn't you do it, not just here and in every channel? And that little seed has grown into, we've won, I don't know, 21 or 22 awards in the past 25 or 26 months. We're partnered with professional sports leagues and with major players in the event industry, and rolling out new technology most recently every day. we had some free time on our hands.
Yeah. So you've experienced my ineptitude when it comes to these types of things. When we were first talking, you said text this number to this number, and I said I don't know how to do that. I'm not ashamed. But I've really enjoyed, after an event or, as we're coming up with the product of what we need for our events, like your reports and summaries and your dashboards of this is how it works and here's the response rate. So for me, it's fun to see that kind of tail end of it. But, if you're at a lacrosse tournament, you want to know where the bathroom is, you ask, where's the bathroom? And then the answer comes. I assume that's perceived as magic by most people, but what does it take to give that person that answer? Are you guys chock full of like savant algorithm geniuses? Like how do you build something that cool?
That's a great question, Garrett. It starts, we do it a little bit counterintuitively compared to what the industry does. We kind of step back and go, what do people really want to know? you know, and if you look at any customer service interaction, the reality is you have a relatively narrow set of things that people are primarily focused on. And what we do is we focus on this concept of the job to be done. So we build our bots to do the job that the client wants them to do. So it could be at a lacrosse tournament, answering questions about, you know, what time do I play and where's the field and where do I park at Silicon Slopes. It could be, you know, who's speaking, who are the exhibitors, you know, what time is Mark Zuckerberg coming on. I'm vegan, or I'm glucose or gluten intolerant. How do I, you know, have that meal? Those are all the things that people ask. And so we build entire conversations out that already have those questions. We've already thought of all the questions. So as an example, at Silicon Slopes, I think the bot that we built, Felix, for that event, it can answer over 9 million different variations of questions. And you know, we do all that work. All we need our clients to do is provide us the answer. So, you know, if you say, what am I supposed to wear? Oh, business casual. Okay, the only thing I need from the client is business casual as the answer. So it becomes very easy for them. I think the other thing, as you start to look at, you know, one of the ones that really came up recently is this concept of an employee response bot. You know, we have a client that has, you know, 2,800 employees with 56 locations in the health field. And, you know, last month, the rules of those employees simply coming to work were changing every hour, right? I mean, it's kind of like the things that we've talked about, Garrett, trying to help people with the PPP and the EIDL loans. Those rules are changing hourly, you know, 2 weeks ago. And so what the client's done is said, look, I'm going to use the bot to push a message out via SMS. I know my employees are going to get it because everyone's got a phone. I know they're going to read it because in text has a 98% open rate. And then they can ask questions back like, okay, am I supposed to bring my own PPE? You know, I bring scrubs from home, or, you know, in some cases, you know, people are picking up extra shifts, and they're able to communicate all of that over SMS in real time, which frees up teams to do other things that add value, right? It's really about creating a full force multiplier. So on one hand, it's providing instant customer service for the recipient. On the other hand, it's a force multiplier for your employees, especially in these days, because we've got a lot of clients that are, you know, they have fewer employees than they had 45 days ago. Yeah. So, you know, the technology is helping them.
Yeah. So, yeah, we went through the process for Tech Summit, and it's exactly as you described. We gave our best answers for what we thought your team could use. But what skill set does it take, you know, once your product folks have interacted with us, or you have to interact with the machines? Are they just you know, developers? Are they specific niche developers that help build all of that and make sure it works?
So on our side, we've got a combination of folks, right? So on one side, we have the more traditional technical developers that are building code that creates the UI that people interact with, and you know, those guys have really gotten somewhat specialized in the plumbing, because, you know, we can deliver the same bot across SMS and the web and WhatsApp and Twitter and Viber and Telegram, and, you know, keep going down the line. So the plumbing portion of that is something our team has worked hard to develop functionality, and we're always looking for new technical help there. On the other side, we have what we call the conversation design, and that's it's almost a homegrown talent, right? We have to bring people in and teach them how to address that, because, you know, we're leveraging best in breed tools. So, you know, we use Google Dialogflow to help some of our natural language processing. We use other best in breed for different business problems, again, attacking each job to be done at its own level. And the net result is we bring all that together. So, you know, we always say that it's really easy to build a bot. Like, there are 1,000 places to go build a bot, but it's really, really, really difficult to build one that works, right? Yeah. You know, and so our teams and our technology teams have done a great job. We don't show you the sausage making; we just serve you a delicious sausage sandwich, right? All you got to do is tell us if you want it on a bagel or cheese or something, you know. Sweet,
yeah. Yeah, we found that to be the case, which is good. Again, it's kind of just magic once you're using it. Yeah, I've got a few brokerage accounts, and I've been trying different exotic trading scenarios, and I'm not quite sure, right? If it's the best thing. And in the old days, you'd call a representative or something, but the chatbots for these various platforms, even though they're, way more capitalized than you guys, they haven't worked very well with some of the questions. And I wonder if it's just because it's such a dumb question that the bot couldn't process it. They're like, no, you're so way off. That trading scenarios never occurred in the history of humankind, or if it's just not well done. So yeah, speak to that a little bit more of like how bots actually work or don't work.
Yeah, sure. So at their core, bots have two components, right? There's a template. These are all the questions that the bot is designed to ask, the job it's meant to do, right? And then you have a library, and those are the answers to the questions and who's allowed to see them, because two different people can ask the same question and get a different answer on purpose, because you have identity, especially in the SMS channel. So when somebody texts in, what's my schedule? Well, I know it's Garrett. And I know Garrett's scheduled to go to the gubernatorial debate because you check that off on your schedule. So I can just go back, well, hey, you're scheduled to go to the gubernatorial debate at Silicon Slopes a little bit later. Or, if we ask you ask an employee question, you say, hey, how many days off do I have? Well, the system knows it's you. That's one factor of authentication. And we can then, if necessary, ask a second one and go grab that information. So at its core, the bot's job is to take a look at the things that it's designed to answer and really build out all the different ways you could reasonably ask those questions, right? And that's really where we're focused. And I think that the misnomer comes. A lot of people say, well, I asked the Silicon Slopes bot where to get the best steak in Salt Lake. That's not its job. It turns out Google and Yelp and OpenTable can all tell you about steaks, but none of those places can tell you, what time is David Neeleman speaking about the launch of JetBlue, right? And so it's again, focusing in on what you want the bot to do. And I want to highlight two things, because Silicon Slopes has done something that is really unique in the industry, and it played very well. One is that, partway through the registration process this year, you began to require cell phone registration so that we could use the bot more effectively in communicating with attendees. And by the way, you got over a 95% field fill, right? So, more than 95% of the people are actually putting numbers in that field, legitimate numbers in that field, which is great. The net result is that you opened up another channel of communication. And this year, we had a phenomenal, one of the best ever, probably the best ever Silicon Slopes event. And on the first morning, one of the other technologies had a brief snafu. And that sort of rolled down the hill. It created some Wi-Fi issues, but the bot continued to run because it runs over SMS and, obviously on the wireless carriers. And we ended up handling 19,000 questions in about 90 minutes. Right. Yeah. Again, helping people get where they are. So the first thing is that using that channel opened up a way to provide better customer support. But I think it probably the most powerful thing that you guys did is, I think 2.5 or 3 weeks ago, Garrett, you called me at like 8 o'clock at night and said, hey man, we want to push out to all the Silicon Slopes attendees who live in Utah and give them as much help as we can. Right, about the EIDL loans and the PPP loans, the payroll protection program loans, and the other things that the great state of Utah is doing to help all the small businesses that are hurting right now. And we went into the database and were able to identify 12,582 users who would provide cell phone numbers and given a Utah address, because you can no longer use area code as a trigger for location, right? And what's really interesting is 12,579 of them, those numbers were still active, meaning that channel was still open. So you had opened this channel to communicate back in January at the event. And now we have this other reason to reach out to the participants in the Silicon Slopes community and say, we have something important for you. We pushed that message out. It took less than 5 minutes to hit everybody. We had 150 businesses hit that channel, hit that bot in the first 3 minutes it was live. As of today, I think we're over 850 businesses that have been helped and asked. The last time I looked, I want to say it was about 7,000 questions that had come through, or 7,000 questions and answers that are going back and forth. And there's a couple really instructive things there. The first that this COVID-19 thing has taught us is, one, because you created that community, you were able to continue to interact with that community. If you look at the average, another really interesting technology at that event was there was an app. If you look at the average event app, within 2 weeks of when that app is and when the event's over, 95% of the people have deleted or disabled the app, right? Well, you had 99.98% of your attendees you could still contact in this channel, and with a 98% open rate, they all got that message, right? And so you really are seeing it, and it's flowing through to not just the PPP loans, but it's also flowing through to testing. It's flowing to the testing for COVID-19 you're doing, and to all the other workshops and the brilliant things that Silicon Slopes is doing to help the community, right? So I think it's important to point that out.
Yeah. You guys have carried a lot of freight for Silicon Slopes the last 3-4 months. And, with our organization kind of switching gears to Slope Serves and Test Utah and all these other things, whatever analogy you want to use, building the ship as you sail it, all of that, it was, all right, how do we get as many people knowledgeable about these options for funding and loans? All right, let's build a website real quick. Let's get Ledger Gurus to provide the insight and all the options, flow charts, this and that. Okay. Now, all right, now how do we communicate? And that's why I called you, at 8 p.m. and said, hey, can we do this? And to you and your team's credit, you said yes. And there was no haggling or negotiations at the point. It was just, yeah, we'll do it. So we are very appreciative of that, and I'm sure a lot of folks who are treading water and don't have time to slog through the various websites and the SBA, all of that, they can quickly and easily find the right solutions for them. After that, then they have to slog through the application process.
There's some slogging.
There's no solution for that yet, but yeah, it's been a big help and a game changer for us. So we appreciate you guys jumping in and being such an important part of the process and a good community player.
Well, first of all, thank you. We're happy to do it. We're honored you chose us. I mean, we look at it as our duty as a member of the Silicon Slopes community to help everybody, because the more we can do together, the further we're going to go. I read today in the paper that Utah is top 10 in testing and bottom 10 in morbidity for COVID-19. And it's my hope that because of the work we did together, that we'll be top 10 in the ability to leverage the help that's out there, whether it's the PPP loans or the EIDL loans or the state. The state has done a great job. Salt Lake County's done a great job. There's a bunch of other resources that are out there. So top 10 in leveraging that, and bottom 10 in businesses who experience the ultimate difficulty, right? Yeah. And we think that's exactly what this community is about. And we look at it as instructive to say, okay, how do we take the lessons we learned at every one of these steps? Because the reality is that we're all going through something unprecedented. And the messaging that we see at the end of the day is pretty simple: is you have to be able to contact people in real time in a channel that they operate in. And while our goal was to help the Silicon Slopes community, Garrett, the lessons we got out of both Silicon Slopes event, the tech conference, and this recent effort have been reverberating across the industry. So once again, you guys are at the bleeding edge of using technology to solve business problems. So you should be commended.
Oh yeah, well, thank you. That's mostly the other people on the Silicon Slopes team, because as I've proven time and time again, I'm on the dull edge of that. I know how it should probably work, but then we have to get Bree and Drew and John and Clint involved to get the technical aspects along with your guys' help.
No.
So, fingers crossed this is all over in a couple of months, and what are your plans for the company after that?
You know, it's been interesting. You know, one, we you know, in the event world, which is a big part of our business, you know, as you might imagine, that sort of went poof. We went from being completely booked from February through the middle of May to almost all of that work being moved. So, you know, the great news is we get prepaid, so it moves. That's good stuff. We see there being more and more what we call hybrid events. So there's going to be, you know, some virtual, some in person. You know, I think that the sort of fundamental lesson that we heard again and again is that if you have SMS number, if you have someone's mobile number, you can continue to communicate with them in that channel and be smart about it, right? So we're seeing more and more of our clients are saying, hey, you know, we want a bot because I'm going to have a smaller event that it doesn't make sense to use an app, and I can't talk to people on an app after, you know, 30 days anyway. So we're seeing more and more people are saying, hey, I want to use a bot for this. We're seeing a bunch of our clients and new clients that are coming to us and saying, you know, I want to use this technology for employee interaction, right? You're not doing all your interaction there, but you know, there's 10 or 15 things you want to communicate, especially in a pinch. You know, and I know so many of my clients I talked to over the last 45 days, all of a sudden they went from everybody's in the office to how the heck do I communicate with everybody, right? And again, we see that technology accelerating. We're rolling out automated versions. So, you know, we have bots that start at you know, $100, and we have bots that are $50,000. And we're seeing more and more people say, okay, I want to get started, leverage the channel, be smart, but I don't have a ton of money. And we think that there's going to be an increasing growth in that world.
Very cool. Yeah, that's great to have the ability to be flexible and mini pivot and be supportive of all of your clients. It's a good place to be in. All right. Well, if folks are interested, you know, once the smoke clears and in joining the team or being involved with what you guys are doing, what's the best way for them to get in contact?
Yeah, no, the best way is to, you know, go to our website, 42chat.com, like the number 4, the number 2, chat, CHAT.com. If you want to email us, info@42chat. That goes right to my desk, but by the time I explain my whole email address, it's easier to go info@42chat. You know, we've got live versions of our bots up there. You know, if somebody wants to play with a demo version, you know, you can see it right on our website. That's a web version, and we can direct you to other variations that you can get into in SMS that are live and available for you to play with. You know, we appreciate the partnership with Silicon Slopes and appreciate being part of the community. We're dedicated to everybody who's watching today. We want to help you any way we can. So if you think you have a need that AI can help, you know, reduce the volume of interaction you're getting, improve your customer service, and most importantly, lift your people up so that they can dig through the craziness we're all dealing with, we want to be there to help you. So I encourage you all to reach out. And I also encourage you all, go to the SlopeServes website, schedule your testing, get tested, right? To the extent that you get the testing opportunity, at least fill out the survey, right? So that organizationally and everybody in Utah can continue to be healthy and wealthy and successful.
Very cool. Yeah, thank you so much. We also are appreciative of the partnership again and look forward to the next iteration of building something with you guys and watching the fun results come in. So appreciate your time, Bob. Again, this is Bob Caldwell, is founding partner and CRO of 42Chat. We'll check in again soon, and thank you for your time.
Thanks so much, Garrett. Thank everybody out there. Stay safe and enjoy your families. Be good.
All right. You too.